superpower. Okay, so this is defining your value, your value proposition. In the past, I've talked about what is your superpower. So this is what we're going to be talking about, is really defining what value you add to clients, basically selling yourself to your clients. So here we're talking about, here we're at the 4th class, and we've been kind of chopping through these. And this is the last session of the real estate expert. So tomorrow we'll be going into lead generation, and we'll be talking about generate your leads and grow your database. So that'll be in Wasilla tomorrow. Missy Hernandez will be teaching the first session, and then I believe I'll have Nicholas Cox teaching the, number 6, grow your database. I think I'm going to be tag teaming that with him as well. So anyway, so here we go. Oops. Let's do this. 1 second, guys. Oh, that's not what. Hold on, guys. I'm driving upside down. So give me 1 second. All right, I'm just going to keep talking. Let's see. View slideshow. All right, fantastic. Okay, good. Just gonna... All right, so we're going to start. This is today's agenda. We're going to talk about the value proposition, what matters to both buyers and sellers, define your value proposition. So we're actually going to do a practice where you're going to define and you're going to create your own value proposition. This would be fantastic for you to be able to put into your listing paperwork, like when you go to meet with a seller or when you meet with buyers and you do a buyer's presentation. Super important to say, hey, this is who I am. This is how I add value. This is how we're moving forward. And I want you to be confident about it. This is what we're doing. And because we're going to be going deep. We'll cover recaps and ahas, and this is an abbreviated class. So you know that you know what your homework is. Your homework is basically making the 10 calls, 10 handwritten notes, touching base with social media. And we had Helen graciously give us some tips on that as well. All right, here we go. All right, so your value proposition. It's a unique, memorable, and persuasive statement. So I want to look at these highlighted words. A unique, memorable, and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. Okay. And then it also addresses the specific and special needs of the buyer and sellers in your market. Like, what do they need? So this is beautiful because this is basically the outline for creating your value proposition. It also states what you will do for your client to earn your commission. And it holds you accountable to high standards. So ultimately, when you're in the middle of a transaction, and you're wondering, gosh, things aren't going exactly how I planned it to go. Look back at that value proposition. What value are you adding to this situation? Sometimes it's outside your control, but know that stay grounded in who you are and what you're offering. And this is the basis for confidence, moving forward and confidently moving forward, knowing that you're using your superpowers to be able to help your clients. Okay. All right. So then top agents can easily explain what services they will provide to anyone who hires them. That's the benefit of having a value proposition. And then the benefits, it helps your client understand your value and expertise, protects your commission, and builds strong and trusting relationships. So it's interesting because I want you to think about a time when maybe you did something extremely well. Think about a time that you excelled in something, or and then someone gave you a compliment on it. Wow, like you are so organized, or thank you for explaining that or articulating that so well. This is like, that's giving you hints and feedback back into what is your value proposition. So it doesn't even have to be real estate related. Again, tapping into what is your superpower? What are you good at doing on an everyday basis to help people feel safe, to build trust, and to communicate? Ultimately, it goes back into the grounding level feeling. It's how you make clients feel. So stop getting into your head about not knowing enough. I want you to be grounded in who you are. Who are you at the core? And how do you make other people feel safe and understanding? And this is how do you build relationships? Okay. Okay, so here are some examples of value proposition examples, okay? With Airbnb, Airbnb exists to create a world where anyone can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that is local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable. Walmart has one. Everyday low prices for a broad range of goods that are always in stock in convenient geographic locations. Heck, they even have a Walmart in Costa Rica. I was like, what? Slack makes it downright pleasant to work together. Well, that's straight and to the point, right? Grammarly, great writing, simplified. Compose bold, clear, mistake-free writing with Grammarly's AI-powered writing assistant. That sounds very Grammarly language, doesn't it? QuickBooks, send invoices in minutes and get paid 2 days faster. Yeah, we want to get paid fast, right? State Farm, here to help life go right? So some of these are like straight and to the point. So what makes these value propositions successful? Some of you in Zoom land, chime in. What makes these successful? I'll start with you guys.
I'm just
Being
thinking like,
relatable. Go ahead.
they just have like what people need, like they're filling a need.
Beautiful. Yes, providing a need. Okay, how about you, Holland?
I was just saying being relatable, which
Oh, yeah. We want that relation. And how about you guys here?
There's always like a consistency, you know, with these big franchises that you always find comfort in, even if you're mad about something.
Yeah.
You know, like, they didn't have whatever. You always know, like, oh, there's a Walmart, so it's like it's civilization.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, oh, there's a Walmart.
Yeah. So I'll read a couple things. So these examples are written with client-centered language. Right? It's not like, I will do this, you know, it's everything is, yes, this is what they will do, but this is to be of service to the client. What's important to the client? Like, what's important to buyers? What's important to sellers? Also, they pose a challenge along with its solution. What's the challenge that you guys are solving for your clients? Right? Like, if you own real estate or you've gone through a real estate transaction, what are some of the challenges that you faced as a buyer or a seller? Put yourself in their position. You know, it can feel overwhelming. What are some challenges that we can face in real estate? Any examples here?
Well, buyers in particular, well, both buyer and seller can feel like they've been ripped off, you know, they've paid too much, they have buyer's remorse now because of it, or.
Excellent. How about you guys on Zoom? Any challenges that you can see that we can help solve for our clients. Okay, we'll move on. And then also examples, these examples explain either directly or indirectly through implication why you're different than your competition. Again, I love saying, what's your superpower? Truly, like, what makes you different than her? What is your superpower? You know? So thinking about like, how do you get through a transaction? It is, real estate, divorce, death, giving birth, and buying real estate are the most stressful times in a people's lives. Okay? For those of you who have already gone through transactions, you have played social worker, you've played, psychologist or counselor. Your job is to be the steady hand, to be neutral, to receive what they're feeling and ask more questions. It's not about you. It's about you chiseling into what is it that scares them. Their reaction is a reaction out of fear, uncertainty. They are relying on you, and they need to know that they can trust that you are going to take care of them. The moment that trust is gone, it can go upside down and they'll turn their guns on you. So knowing very, very clear on what your buyers or your sellers, what your clients need from you. That's how you show up. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. So connecting to your value, if you're like, gosh, I don't know, like I'm just starting in real estate. Well, you've got KW to back you up. You've got the KW and the market center value. Maybe you've heard Brian say it before, like you've got all of this wealth of technology, information, experience behind you. If you're on a team, your team has your back. They are the ones who are going to give you the knowledge that you need to help support you. If you don't know the answer, you don't have to know everything. You can always come back and check with your team. If you're a solo licensee, just like me, it's like, okay, you have a team of people who can help you along the way. You reach out to other solos or anybody in the office. I'm telling you, like, everybody's happy to help. Most people are. And then you can check in definitely with Brian and with myself. We are always available to help you. If he isn't, I am. So it doesn't matter if it's Sunday, call me. I'll help you guys troubleshoot and help give you a rah. Okay, so and then the fiduciary. So you have this duty to your client, and then you're the market expert. So again, remember how in our previous session, we talked about looking at your numbers, knowing your market. This will help you, because it'll help fuel why they should trust you. So at least knowing your inventory or researching it, going to preview homes, this will help you, okay? I want to keep an eye on the time because I want to respect your time here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I touched on this. So, we have the access to collective knowledge and experience of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide, literally. Like, we had someone who was based out of here in Anchorage, and he moved to London, and now he's with KW in London. So we're everywhere. There's a wealth of information online. You have a wealth of knowledge base here, like we talked about. Fiduciary, basically, I can point you to reputable resources for service providers such as handyman, window washers, tax associates, and financial advisors. We hold those resources. Later on, we're going to talk about how to build your network. We've already helped you start. we've had, vendors, we had, Lindsay Schramm with Residential Mortgage out in Wasilla. She brought lunch, she said she would sit down with any of you or have a phone call with you to be able to guide you through the lending process, because she loves to educate clients. She loves to educate new licensees. We had a home inspector. Home inspectors, there are some that really appreciate you calling and asking, hey, I have a question about this. It's totally okay to use them as resources. And then, yeah, so start to collect names of contractors. If you don't know anyone and you're like brand new to the area, check in with any of us. If you're wherever you're based, check in with your peers. We would love to be able to share some of our resources with you. And if you're on the KW Facebook forum, we're always posting like, hey, does anybody have like a good house cleaner in Eagle River? You'll see a bunch of us like post stuff to offer that help. So don't be afraid to ask. You're the market expert. I can help you price your home to sell because I'm very tuned into the market of the moment. Right?
I'm sorry, I don't wanna, when you said preview homes, just going back like for
Yeah.
a second. Do you personally, like, when you look at homes, are you keeping notes on all these, or you just look at it and just know, okay, that's. You know what I mean? Like, are you
Yeah.
actually going to that extent of like. Taking notes on the houses or whatever?
Whatever works for you.
Okay.
Sometimes, whatever works for you.
I
I
was
mean,
just
sometimes I
curious if
will
you did.
preview homes if I have a certain buyer in mind
Mhm.
and I know that they're looking for something with maybe a bedroom on the main floor. Or they want an ADU, an additional master bedroom because they have an aging parent or something. If we can't, maybe I'll call and find out, but about it from the listing licensee, but I'll oftentimes go just preview or do a video preview. To me, that's very valuable because then I can just forward that to my client rather than taking notes. Why not just do a little video walkthrough and send it over to the client?
Is it okay to post on the forum too? Like, if somebody told me, hey, I've just a random, how people throw it out once they know that you do real estate. Hey, find me a 5-bedroom in Eagle River. Something like that.
Yeah.
Is that okay to post on the forum and just say, hey, does anybody have anything coming? Is that?
Sure, and at that point, I would even reach out to that person and set up an in-person meeting, so that way you can better understand their needs. So get belly to belly, face to face with them and say, hey, let's get together, even if it's casual over a cup of coffee. But the moment that you're starting to take that action step to start to look at real estate, you really should have an AREC signed. And for those of you who are really, really brand new that don't know what an AREC is, it's an Alaska Real Estate Consumer Disclosure that we have to have by this, it's required by the state of Alaska. The moment you start to have any conversation, anything regarding real estate related, you should have an AREC signed, and it's talking about the relationships between a licensee and the consumer. And this is very important because we want to disclose the type of relationship that's owed. I often will refer to it like a HIPAA form, like this is talking about, basically what duties I owe you. There are different types of relationships that could be held, and this is not a contract. This is just something that I need to disclose, required by the state of Alaska, anytime we start to have a conversation regarding real estate. And so, so that's where I would start. And then, yes, absolutely, post on the forum on the back end, you can ask, but before you give them information, make sure that you have that AREC.
And before we ever show, then you have to have that buyer's.
Oh, absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Because
yes.
that's the stuff, and I'm assuming it's coming later in this.
Yes,
Okay.
we're gonna talk about,
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
throw
no,
you off
no.
What you're.
I want you guys to bring the questions, and if I need to defer and say, we'll touch on it later, I think it's really good that we talk about it now. So I'm gonna keep going. Does anyone else have questions or any ahas or any thoughts right now? Even on Zoom, do you guys have any thoughts, questions, comments? And if not, that's okay. We'll keep going. Okay, we'll keep going. Looks like we only have one participant on Zoom, so we'll keep going. Okay, so next we're gonna cover what matters to buyers and sellers, okay? Okay. So, the purpose of real estate for buyers, their goal is to find just the right home. At the best price. And this is broken down, I'm telling you guys this slowly and in broken down pieces because we're going to dissect it a little bit. In the right time with the least number of problems, right? For sellers, their goal is to net the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least number of problems, most of the time, right? So this is very general for both. So ideally, if you don't understand this for your buyers and your sellers, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because if you don't understand that what their goals are, and we can even add to this, sometimes even, I would love to add communication is really important too. We are supposed to be high-level communicators with our clients, letting them know where are we now and what's happening next. Okay. So if you don't understand your client's goals, they may have a poor experience. So this is very important when we have those buyer or seller appointments and those listing presentations or buyers consultations to be able to ask and chisel down what's really important to them. How do you win with them? I will tell you too that if you skip that step, you'll run into issues later where you're having to backpedal and having to explain things because you never set the expectation up front. And it creates a really stressful experience, especially if, depending on the personality type of your buyer or your seller, if they ask a lot of questions, that's your cue to make sure that you pour so much information into them. Because most people want to know what's happening and want to be communicated with, but you need to really chisel down with them, why is this important to you? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so the top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition: needs analysis, pre-qualification or pre-approval, neighborhood information, home search, make an offer, negotiating to buy, vendor coordination, pre-close preparation, closing, and post-closing. These are all things that really you should be touching on when you're having that buyer consultation on what that process may look like.
Can you tell us what some post-closing things would be?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So for example, like post-closing would be, making sure, let me see. Sometimes some of these things I do right at closing. So post-closing, I usually do like a follow-up a week afterwards. Also, if they're interested in having a home warranty, just making sure that they get that ordered. Or post-closing, checking in. Sometimes I just check in to see how things are going and I'm able to help troubleshoot or offer some assistance with contractors or other resources for them. It doesn't necessarily have to be contractors. I've had people just ask me like, hey, I'm looking for a good daycare, or hey, I'm looking for, if they're brand new to the area, just offering that level of support. And just kind of seeing where they're at. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. I think just kind of like generally checking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
Thanks.
it's always, yeah, absolutely. It's always that check-in. It's interesting because, I tell my clients at the closing table and then even after I check in on them a week later, you know, that we'll stay in touch. Hey, is it okay if we stay in touch? I'd love to check in, see how progress goes. Or if I know that they're going to be updating the kitchen, or doing any renovations, whatever, checking in on them, is great. And post-closing too is checking in for their experience. I usually do it right at recording or right upon recording, which occurs usually here in Alaska the day after, the next business day after we close. And I'll get to you in a minute. So, having to do with that, like I always send them out, a link for testimonials. I ask them for feedback at the closing, right after they're done signing. I'm like, hey, it's really important for me to have, get feedback from my clients, like, how could I have done better? And then I just make sure to check in on them. Okay, you had a question?
I do, this happened to me before, I just wondered how you would have handled this. Let's say you check in on them, and now that they're in there, they discover something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Then what? Let's say not something, like, let's say it's a major thing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do about that now?
Well, I think it depends on what it is. I can help find resources for, addressing those things. But that's your scope is done, like find out, you can be the solution oriented. Realtor and try to help find solutions for whatever that issue is. But once it has recorded, it's done, they've had their due diligence. Sometimes, if a home inspector has missed it, sometimes directing them back to the home inspector, like for guidance, but they can't catch everything. I think it's just important to just come from contribution, ultimately. How are we going to, help support them or be like, gosh, that's tough, like, how can I best support you right now? Engage where they're at. Because sometimes some buyers are like, well, gosh, well, darn, we didn't catch this. And it might not be a big deal. Others, it's a big deal and they want blood. So being able to gauge, like, you know, how do you handle that? Okay, but we'll move on and just keep on task. So, and then for seller, the value proposition here, the needs analysis, pricing strategy, property preparation. This is a big one. Like, can you help guide them on preparing the property when it comes time to sell? Having honest conversations with them, about decluttering if needed, and offering resources if needed. Marketing strategy, making sure that you know what your plan is and that you can articulate that. Receiving an offer, negotiating to sell, selling, you know, basically getting it to closing. The pre-close preparation, being able to communicate with them what they need to do to prepare, for that final walkthrough. When do they need to have their stuff out? Closing and post-closing. So being able to communicate with your clients in regards to that. And so here, this just briefly talks about like what buyers want most from their agent, and 52% is to help them find the right home to purchase. And then we have, help buyers negotiate the terms of the sell, and then help with the price negotiations, and then there's other. So the majority here is they just want an agent to help them find a home. That's really the majority of it. The other things are to help with paperwork, determine the comparable homes, what comparable homes are selling for, help determining how much home a buyer can afford. I mean, and these are like minuscule, like 8%, 6% of buyers, what they're looking for in their agent, 4%. help find, and arrange financing, only 3%. So it's really interesting to see that. Let's keep going. And then when choosing an agent, basically what they're looking for is an agent that's honest and trustworthy. So we touched on, people want to feel safe. They want to know that you have their back. And then also an agent's experience. Some of them will ask you about your experience. I will tell them, yes, I have, experience selling homes in this area. I've not very not very often have I had anybody ask me, how long have you been doing real estate? My first year in business, no one asked me that, ever. I don't know, Brian. So, and then, some of them, it's important for the reputation of the agent. So, you can pull, this is what I've done after I sold a few homes, I would add testimonials for the first few, to the back of my buyer's presentation. Or even, you don't even have to wait to buy or sell. Get a testimonial from someone maybe a coworker, someone from your previous life or whatever. What would they say about you? And add those testimonials to your listing presentation or your buyer's consultation, because people want to know that what other people are saying about you. So add that in, okay? All right, we'll keep going. And then here, what sellers want basically from their agent, they want them to help price the home competitively. So that's what? 16%? No, that's 21%. We'll go this way on the graph. So, and then also to help seller market their home to potential buyers, help sell the home within a specific time frame, that's 16%. And then help seller find ways to fix up the home to sell it for more, and that's 16%. That was 2 of my phone calls for listings this past week. I had to have past clients say, hey, can you come on over and tell me what I should fix so I can list it? Will I get more money? Is it worth it? You're their consultant. So being able to just move forward and know what sells, what doesn't, look at the competition, the inventory. You're really showing your value by knowing the market and being able to advise them. So if you're going into a neighborhood, I'll just use this as an example. For this particular client, they're in Equestrian Acres in Palmer, and there's almost no inventory, but there was one property that was comparable to theirs, and same age, same square footage. But my client was putting new cabinets in, but they were wondering, should we do quartz and granite versus, laminate or solid surface? So I'm like, great question. I pulled up this one comp, and it was, somewhat updated, but I noticed it was 3 days on market and already pending. So just a simple phone call to the listing licensee. They actually divulged a lot of information. Come to find out, there were 6 offers on that property. They had solid surface countertops, and it went above asking price. They actually got about 25,000 over their ask price. Do you think that just by that simple phone call, I gathered some intel and I sounded like the market expert? So I go back to my client. I said, okay, fantastic. I just want to let you know I did some research, and I think you should go with solid surface countertops because you could potentially get more without having to spend the thousands of dollars on granite or quartz. And we have this comparable sale, and I know that they had multiple offers, so there may be other buyers out here for your property as well. So it's just being able to do a little bit of research and help them make an educated decision. Okay, that's how we're showing value. Okay, also, you can start with your sphere. Let me see if I stick through things. Okay, so for instance, using your KW app or the technology that we have through Command, you can set up smart plans. You know, sending out newsletters, sending out these touches that offer education or market updates, because then it's presenting you as that market expert. We have the KW app, which is great because then you can stay in touch with your clients. Again, it's Command at your fingertips. And then, let's see what else. And then also through that, they can use your site, your agent site, to be able to search for homes, and you can see what they're looking for. So whether it's Flex, whether it's the KW app, it's just really nice because it's branded to you. It just shows that, hey, I'm a professional and I'm giving you these resources to help you. So that's how we offer some guidance here. Any questions on Zoom? How are you guys doing? Doing good? I think we have one.
Doing good.
person. Okay, super. Yay. Thanks for answering. I think,
I'm here. I'm here.
oh, you are. Okay.
I'm doing good. Thanks.
Yay, it says 3 participants. I thought it said 1. Okay, so define your value proposition. Here we go. So this is where we're gonna actually build it for you guys. Okay, and I hope this is helpful. And if at any time you guys are like, I'm talking to you guys on Zoom or even here, like if you guys have questions, yeah, just chime in, or hey, can you elaborate on this? I'd be happy to. Okay, so 3 steps to define your value proposition. So remember, we talked about identify your knowledge, attitude, skill, and belief that make you qualified to be a real estate agent. Basically, your superpower. Transform the value you provide and the value of KW and your market center into benefits for your client, and then build your value proposition statement. So we'll get started with that. Step 1. Okay, so here, let's break this down. What knowledge do I bring to this job? Perhaps you have a degree in accounting, law, or finance, or you've worked in construction and you have great knowledge of homes, home building, codes, etc. Think about that. It doesn't even have to be real estate related. Maybe, maybe you worked as a nurse before, or you were working as a mechanic. I think a mechanic is a great example. If you were a mechanic, you have to go in there and troubleshoot and problem solve, and be able to get in there. So like, what skills are you bringing from your previous life into this one, into this career to be able to, offer value? And then what attitudes am I bringing to this job? Perhaps you consider yourself caring, confident, committed, and honest. And then what skills do I offer? Maybe you're a tech whiz. You're really good at social media. Or you're really good at negotiating or problem solving. We kind of touched on that. And what beliefs do I offer? Maybe you have a lot of integrity. Maybe you're committed or focused. Like, let those words kind of like come into you. And then there's a chart in your participant guide with attributes. So go ahead and take a look at your book and see, and go ahead and fill that out. Let's see. Let me take a look. What page are we on? Excellent. Okay, so on 410. Yep, I like that. Thank you. Yeah, if you'll turn to your participant guide, if you have one, if you don't, we will get you one. But go ahead and turn to that, and even if you don't have one, just go ahead and write down a couple of things like what we talked about. What knowledge do you bring? What attitudes are you bringing? What skills do you have, and what beliefs? Right, just a couple words for each, or a couple phrases. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. All right, you guys good? All right, can any of you share maybe a couple of the things that you've written down? And if you're not, then that's okay. Or do you guys need a couple more minutes? I'll give you a couple more minutes. We're doing good on time, actually, so. And then you guys in Zoom world, I would love to hear from you too. Once you have something put together. So again, you're just writing some attributes about your knowledge, your attitude, your skills, and your beliefs. Once you've done that, I want you to circle the ones that align with what buyers and sellers value. So I'll use examples like your knowledge. Maybe you have a degree in finance or you're education based. Or you like researching. Or you're curious. Your attitudes. Are you committed? Are you bold? Are you focused? Your skills. Are you a good problem solver? Are you solution oriented? Are you patient? Are you diligent? Your beliefs. Your beliefs we can borrow from our Y4C2Ts, win-win or no deal, integrity, customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, creativity, teamwork, trust, success, equity. We're on page 410 of your participant guide and filling out our attributes. That way we can put together your value proposition. All right, so once you finish that and circle maybe some key phrases, we're going to transform the value you provide and the value of KW in your market center into the benefits for your client. So choosing some of the words that you circled, maybe it was integrity. And how does it benefit your client? Well, honest, dedicated service and the assurance that you'll keep the commitments you make. That's an example. So choose one. And write, how does it benefit your client? And actually, I'd like you to participate with me. Just pick one, even if you haven't written it down. Some of you here. What kind of attributes do you have or have you circled? And how do you think that can benefit your client?
Skills wise, communication skills, skills in real estate, of course.
Yeah.
Being able to negotiate, being able to explain things clearly, being able to get questions, I mean, skills with people is huge in this business, so.
Absolutely, yes. I think that's super important. Anybody else? Do you have any other words that you've used? How about you on Zoom? What words have you circled? What attributes do you have that you're bringing to your clients?
I have calm and steady and energy matching, which they're a little bit different, but I found that like if I have just like really calm and steady energy with folks when there's any issues arising, it kind of helps de-escalate anything that could maybe get heightened for no reason, you know, just kind of make more focused on the goal and getting there. And then energy matching, which is kind of handy because if you're like way over energetic and you have clients who are a little bit more mellow, that can just kind of be off or vice versa.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, thank you for saying that. That is huge. Huge. And definitely works with your with personality. And we'll be talking about personality type a little later. We'll talk about the DISC. And that talks on, you know, being how to best communicate with different personality types. It's really fast. I love the psychology of people, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that. So yes, that's a superpower in itself. Beautiful. Okay. And so ultimately, you guys are gonna have time to be able to work on this. I'd love for you to be able to work on this as homework. So this is getting you started to know what your attributes are, to be able to transform them on how they're going to translate to your clients. I want you to marinate on it, definitely work on it. I would love to hear your value proposition tomorrow, so please be prepared to present your value proposition tomorrow. So in addition to doing your 10 calls, your 10 note cards, please be prepared with value proposition. And your social media. 20, oh, you have to do 20. Psych, you get to do 20. So make 20 contacts.
20 calls,
20 calls tonight.
add 20 contacts to your database,
Mm-hmm.
write 20 handwritten
All of
letters.
them? All of them tonight?
You can do it and immediately, like, even having conversations with people at the grocery store, it's totally possible.
Absolutely. 20 conversations is easy to do. And when you're in bold, you gotta do 100 in a day.
So we're not having, it's phone call, sorry, Brian, can you?
20 conversations,
Okay,
add 20 contacts to your database. Have 20 handwritten letters, because it's 10 apiece. Letters of thank you, letters of golden letters, trying to get listings, whatever it is, handwritten letters. Okay, and then you have to do your 10, 10, 5, right? So. Sharon, do you have the slide for that? 10, 10, 5s?
Yep.
It's in your book. So you guys in the back, for you guys that weren't here yesterday, in the back of your book, you have
Yeah.
a bunch of resources. Okay, so these are apps that you guys would wanna use. This is your do not call information, so you don't get yourself in trouble. New agent checklist, if you wanna know all the things that you should be doing. It's just to tell you that when you're sitting around going to have nothing to do, you're lying to yourself. You've got tons of stuff to do. Your daily success is 10 conversations, 10 contacts added, 10 handwritten notes, 10 5-1 social media, and enrichments, which is like showing houses, doing open
this
houses.
is the like comments in the.
Yep. Correct.
What was the 10, 10, 5?
That's it. I meant 10,
Oh,
5.
okay, okay.
Sorry, it's 10, 10, 10, 10, 5, 1. Sorry. Yeah.
I made that a whole lot easier, didn't it?
That makes it a lot easier. Yeah,
Right, and so that's your
yeah.
social media, right? So, and then this is a memory jogger, so that you can go through this and think of people that you need to add to your database that you might not think about, okay? All kinds of people in there that you don't know that you know that you, until you start looking through it. This is to make sure you start building your referral network, come up with people who are in other states that you might know that can give you referral business, okay? Questionnaires, buyer questionnaires, open house feedback forms and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you very
So
much.
every module, you're supposed to be doing 10 calls, 10 conversations, and 10 handwritten notes, okay, sorry. There's no reason why you guys can't do 20 calls in a day. Like you have all the rest of today and tonight to have 20 conversations. 20 conversations is easy, okay? Now, we talked about this yesterday. The number is not so much important except for the social media part. It's the habit building that we're trying to do, okay? We're trying to build the habit of, we don't do anything until we do our lead gen. Lead gen is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 of the things that you need to be doing in the list of importance, okay? So we have to lead gen or nothing else matters, okay? All the training, all the knowledge means nothing if you're not building your business. So it's getting in the habit of doing those things consistently every single day, no matter what, that we're trying to build into you with Ignite, okay? Like I said, in bold, it's a bold 100. You do 100 conversations in a day. I've done a bold 100. It's not fun. But if you do 100 in a day, 20 is nothing. 10 is nothing.
I did
Okay.
a call day where I did about 140.
Yeah, it's not hard to do, right?
Took
Like,
5
and we're
hours.
not talking about calls,
Oh, I did.
conversations. Okay, we want conversations.
But they can be in person.
It can be however you
Okay,
want.
great.
I just need conversations. It can be
Got it.
on Facebook communications. How are you doing? Haven't talked to you for a while. What do you got going on and are you thinking about buying or selling? Or do you know anybody who is? Okay, that is long, but it can be conversations with mom about how much you love her. Okay,
Mom, I love you and.
and you know anybody
Bye,
buying or
Mommy.
selling? Okay, it needs to be real estate conversation, okay? But we're trying to build that habit and we don't do anything without building those leads up and having those conversations, because conversations are gonna lead to clients. Right? Now, on the other side of things, the 10-5-1 social media engagement. Keller Williams, we talked about the advantage of being with a large company like Keller Williams is. We get to see the results of massive amounts of communication and where that is most effective. And if you're commenting, or if you're liking 10 times, you're commenting and you're direct messaging at this level. This is gonna be your biggest bang for your buck as far as making sure you're showing up on people's timelines and you're staying top of mind on social media. Because more than that, you're not gonna get a huge, much more results out of that. Less than that, you're gonna start dropping off of people's timelines, right? So that's why the 10-5-1 is important, because at that level, that's gonna give you the most interactions and engagements and make you show up in the most places possible. So, that's the point of the 10-5-1. But we really, really, really have to make sure that when you come in every day and we ask you if you've made your contacts and your calls, I need you to be able to tell me yes. Okay, we talked about this yesterday as well. We're volunteering our time. The teachers are coming in here to volunteer their time to help you. That's the only reason we're here, is to help you guys build a business. Every single person that comes and teaches a class for you is in our top agent list. And they all run a serious business and don't have an extra minute in the day ever. And they're taking hours out of their day to come and provide you guys with education. So please be respectful of that and do your homework. Because we don't want to spend all of our time coming in here and teaching you and have you not get anything out of this class. So please make sure that you're doing those conversations and making those calls, so that tomorrow when you come in, we can ask you if you've done them and you can tell me yes. Okay, I'm not chasing you down to look through your phone to see, but here's the deal. At the end of this, you know how I know if you did it?
Yeah. work coming in.
Because I can tell you to open up your command or your CRM, whatever it is that you use, and if you got 20 people in there, I know you're full of it. You should have roughly 400 people in it, excuse me, 200 people in it if we're doing it 10 per session. In your database, minimum by the end of Ignite. That's if you start with 0 and all you did is the minimum. Okay, so this is setting you up for success moving forward. Please do the homework. This is all for you guys. Take advantage of it, okay? So, don't skimp on the homework. You know, you guys get home and you got the kids and you got life and you got everything going on. Guess what? Welcome to real estate. That's how it is. Everybody's got a life. Sharon has a daughter, has sons, has a husband. Sharon built a business. I have a wife, I have a daughter, I have all kinds of things going on. The TL, I help with the PC program, I help with broker stuff, I sell, I was number 5 in Wasilla for independent agents. Please understand, none of you can possibly be any more busy than me, and I'm here giving my time to you. So just do the things, right? It's never going to be a time where you just have unlimited time to do stuff. You gotta figure it out. Right? In between loving on the kids, you're making calls, right? So just get used to it. It's the way it works. The great thing about real estate is you get the ability to love on the kids in between the calls. Right? You gotta master that. There's always distractions. And whether you're gonna survive or not is whether you can get through the distractions and still be productive. Okay. Sharon has something fun for you coming up here.
Okay, so we're gonna end with a visualization. And so for those of you in Zoom land, just listen. All you have to do is listen. And for those of you here, I want you to listen. We went through session 1 super fast. And this was part of session 1. And so I invite you to envision what business looks like a year from now. So let's take a moment, and if it feels right to you where you're at, just go ahead and close your eyes. Just close your eyes and go into your body. Just allow yourself to focus on your breath. Follow your inhale through your nostrils. Follow your exhale. Grounding your feet into the earth. Relaxing your breath, feeling the rise and fall of your chest. In and out. Softening your shoulders. Softening your throat. Soften your face. Soften your eyes. Continue to follow that inhale in and effortlessly exhaling. Now envisioning where you're at a year from now. You've completed all of your Ignite course. You're bringing in business. Your business is thriving. And your life is everything you've dreamed of. Envision what that looks like in your mind's eye. People are calling you. How does that feel? You're confident. How are you standing? Your head is up, held up high. Feel into the emotion of what it feels like to have succeeded, have completed Ignite, and to have built a business because you put the effort into it. Your customers rave about the experience and the value you provide. And they think of you when they have a real estate need. They'll call you. Imagine picking up your phone and seeing that client and you can't wait to pick up the phone. Gosh, how are they? They need you. Your family and friends are so proud of you. They're proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. Your heart is so full of gratitude because you put in the work. Because you're deserving. You're helping others live their dream of owning a home because you focus on helping them get what they desire. You were the catalyst. You encourage them. You're trusted. They invite you to family gatherings. You're hosting client events. You're building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. So how do you treat yourself a year from now? What have you saved up for? What are you doing? Where are you? Maybe you took a trip of a lifetime. Maybe you were able to pay off your car. Maybe you're a little further out of debt. Maybe you treated yourself by going out to a fancy dinner. Maybe it just means that you get to run a business and be your own boss. Whatever that looks like for you, imagine that right now. Feel it, touch it, taste it. Where are you? What are you doing because of your success? You're one of the top agents in your team or in the market center. You're helping to guide other newbie licensees maybe. Maybe you're rookie of the year if you're new. Not maybe you've created and jump-started your business. And you're inspiring others around you. They notice a change about you, a confidence, a transformation, an inner alchemy. You're on the path to greater things. You've just started, baby. Keep going. Now you're planning future years because you've set an amazing foundation for yourself. Envision yourself giving yourself a pat on the back. Job well done. Handshakes, hugs, high fives, way to go. You did it. You put in the work. You put in the 20%. Now give yourself one last hug. I'm proud of you. And take a deep inhale in. Exhale completely. One more deep inhale in. And exhale. And blink your eyes open. Coming back to the here and now. Every single one of you have the opportunity to create your future. One moment at a time. I believe in you. You have a team behind you cheering you on. So whatever it is that we can do to support you, keep going. All right, so you have your homework for tomorrow. I'm proud of you guys for showing up. That's big. That's step one. And I'm here if you have any other questions. Otherwise, have a fantastic evening and be productive, okay? Okay. Thank you, guys.
So much.
Thank you, guys on Zoom land. How are you guys doing?
Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, all right. See you guys tomorrow. Stop sharing.